Good evening, Prayerful Heart Consciousness holders. This is Reverend Jerry Hobby. I am coming to you with a special mindful moment break with a special prayer. I am just so happy to be with you. I'm grateful that we have an opportunity to take time and take a break because so much is truly happening in the world. There used to be a soap opera. I think it was called As the World Turned. I'm not sure if it's still on television, but we are having an As the World Turned experience right now. But you know, the great thing about this is we get to play a valuable and an important role, and that is engaging in spiritual practice. So this evening, I'm knowing that you guys are going to be looking at this video and you're going to be hearing this video in the middle of the night. Maybe perhaps you're going through your dark night of the soul. But as you're moving through your dark night of the soul, I want you to remember the value of spiritual practice. The most important part is I want you to hear these sacred words, and they're very powerful words. And these words are about Martin Luther King. We shall overcome. Now, I want to say something to you. There is nothing wrong with being optimistic. There's nothing wrong with positivity. The most important part is applying it from a place of love and compassion, and it is also moving through the experience, the practical experience, and allowing for all parties concerned to come into the space for healing. Those that are questioning, those that are on the front line that are doing the work, like I'm thinking about our doctors right now and all the caregivers, the nurses, and everyone that is involved with that. I'm thinking also about the scientists, the researchers that are involved. I'm also thinking about those that are planning, doing the strategic planning for this. In our area, I heard that the city of Pomona stepped up and they're preparing the way. And we do need to have those to go before and prepare the way. But what I know most of all about this whole experience, it is the divine within. It is the inspiration of that divine love, that divine essence. I like to call it God. I like to call it love. And I like to call it Spirit. That was the reason I named my dog Spirit, because I would remember who the source was all the time. And I got to say it all the time. So she truly is a blessing. I want to share my favorite quote of the week. And that favorite quote comes from Ernest Holmes. He says, everything in life responds to the song of the heart. And what I'm going to do is I want you to anchor in the heart today as we move into prayer. And I'm going to invite you, because you're probably going to be listening to this video or viewing this video throughout the evening. I'm going to invite you to allow it to be the prominent prayer, the prominent experience of your day when you close your eyes. Because I know that that prominence is the quiet stirring that touches all of humanity. And it touches all the individuals that are involved all around the world that are doing work, testing, clinical trials, all of that in addressing this pandemic. And what I'd like to see is a pandemic take place with the movement of this energy, this movement of prayer, the movement from all walks of life, people all around the world. I know that it does make a difference. And so with that in mind right now, I'm going to invite you to just simply join me by simply breathing right now. Let's do this several times. And if you feel comfortable, I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes. If not, you choose not to, that's perfectly fine. Just breathe. There's something special about breathing and just simply releasing and letting go. And so in this very moment, right here, right now, I simply acknowledge the presence of the divine, knowing that that presence is everywhere, in everything. It is beauty, it is wisdom, it is understanding, it is that strength, and it is that creative element. I know that this divine presence is alive and thriving. It is the very expression of my life, in the small things and even in the big things. I know that it is that divine essence, and it is that relationship that brings about a peace that passeth all understanding, that creates a space of intimacy, where the divine wisdom of love, that special sacred presence, fulfills itself and it touches life in a profound way. And what I know is that that divine presence is the wonderful energy, it is the strength, it is that wonderful essence that is alive and thriving within me, Reverend Jerry Hobby. And I know that that same presence is alive right now. It thrives and it fulfills itself within every single person that is hearing or participating in this prayer. And what I know is that this energy and this presence has already gone before and prepared the way. What I'm knowing is that there is a shift that is taking place right here and right now. That shift is the harmony of spirit. It is the divine blessing of this universal mind. It is the heart in action, engaged with the mind. And I know that in that wonderful heart and within the essence of the mind, that pituitary, I'm just acknowledging the pituitary gland now, that gland that is the director of all the sacred goings on within the neuroplasty of our being is at work. And what I know is that there is something unfolding in a practical way within every single one of us. It is the healing presence. It is divine life in action. It is that divine consciousness. And what I know about all of this is about divine awareness. And that awareness of the one source, the one power, the one spirit that always has been and always will be, that dwells deep within the recesses of our being, is alive and thriving. And it is this divine element that I know that expands itself, enlarges itself, and clarifies itself. It is the peace within the interactions of our households right now. It is that divine element that brings about harmony, the stirring of spirit in action, bringing that stillness, allowing everyone to become anchored and grounded. And I know that it is the same power and presence that has gone before and prepared the way. And it is that vibrational energy moving, expanding itself, and revealing itself with ease and grace. I'm giving thanks for this wonderful presence right now, for I know that it is fully present right where all of our healthcare professionals are. Those that are calming the seas and articulating and bringing forth clarity, those that are organizing and preparing, those that are in the process of bringing order to the seeming chaos. I'm acknowledging it within the wisdom and the choices that are made in terms of the care. And I'm giving thanks for that wonderful element of love in action, touching anyone that has been impacted by this experience. And what I know is that the clarity and the healing presence of the divine is right there, blessing and supporting everyone in moving through this with ease and grace. I know that this same presence and this same light is the consciousness that expands itself as wholeness. It is an energy, it is a truth, it is that practical experience expanding and enlarging itself right now. So what I'm knowing is that everyone that is in leadership and that every choice that is being made, the strategic planning, that there is something deeper unfolding deep beneath the recesses of our being, of humanity's being. And I know that it is perfect and good. And it is in this space right here, right now, that I'm giving high praise, high understanding, and thanks for this divine consciousness, that which already knows, that which brings about the clarity, that which fulfills itself. And I know that consciousness, this awareness, this life, this essence expands itself right here and right now within a practical way. And I know that in that practical expression, only love prevails, only the peace that passeth all understanding reveals itself. And I'm acknowledging it as that sacred movement within all things, within all beings, within all aspects of life. I'm knowing that this consciousness is the healing vibration. It is the healing energy. It is divine wisdom. And it is that presence that clarifies itself, embraces itself, and it is that energy that is anchored in love. So what I know is that all is well, that the presence of the divine has already revealed itself, its glory, its joy. It has already expanded itself where that Christ shines through. And I know that it touches each and every part of humanity. And I know that that humanity is all inclusive. It includes me. It includes every single person on this planet and so much more. So I simply release these words right now with gratitude into the action of universal law. We affirm together and we say, and so it is. Amen. So I'm going to invite you, when you're ready, to simply open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, this evening I'm going to say, I want you to have the best sleep ever. And I'm going to invite you to wake up tomorrow refreshed. Make sure you have several mindful moments. That means that you are going to be taking breaks throughout the day. And you're going to engage. And that engagement can show up in so many ways. It can show up by just browsing your social platforms. The other day, I got a text, and it was one of those memes. And the meme said something about this child being suspended from homeschool. And it was so funny when I read it and I looked at it, and it was all about laughter. What we must do is remember to bring humor into the situation. It breaks up the hardness. It breaks up those things that we keep running into brick walls with. And I want you to know that when you do this, you're not only doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for everyone. Those people that may be in the midst of just having a breakdown. Or it may be that scientist that is out there working on supporting this project and bringing peace and harmony and the healing forward. We don't know, but we all get to do our part. I'm thanking you now. I want you to have the best evening ever, and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.